Welcome to another edition of Sunday Headline News, Sunday, May 24th. It is 66 degrees, 10% chance of showers, and the air quality is 32. Sunset today will be at 8:03 p.m. Let's jump right in. The New York Times says what to know about citizenship list Trump wants to create. President Trump is trying to create an individual list of citizens by state to determine who can vote, even as his administration acknowledges they would be unreliable. That is interesting. They're trying to divide it up. So maybe they play lines kind of the way they want them to be predicted. I kind of think that's unfair, but this isn't that kind of show. I just read the headlines. On to some feel-good news here. People magazine, U.S. Air Force member reunites with beloved military dog 6 years later, gives him a forever home. Yeah, we forget that their veterans even include animals that we decide to incorporate in our military actions. I suppose that would include dolphins and other sort of mammals that we adopt and try to train for our military actions. So I think everybody needs to be taken care of if they put their life on the line. All right, let's get into some other interesting news here. Let's see here. All right. China Daily, the Wulong area in the Giant Panda National Park on Friday released nearly 3 years of footage showcasing the world's only wild white giant panda. The white panda is seen roaming through the snowfields, dense forests, and bamboo groves, occasionally pausing to forage or leisurely patrol its territory. Wow, that's amazing stuff that we can preserve in the environment, and then the stuff starts thriving and lives a long time so that we enjoy its presence on this earth. I feel like if you want to preserve the creature, you also have to preserve its habitat. See here, we've got a record-breaking Tom's Hardware declares that drone world record speed, now with 453 miles per hour in a test run. Exotic sawtooth carbon fiber propeller blades are one of the key advancements in its design. We're always pushing forward on advancements in technology, getting things and going places where people can't normally go. So good job on the technology. We love it. Keep on coming. What else do we have here? WGN News, Surgeon General issues screen advisory. Healthcare experts and U.S. Surgeon Generals are warning against excessive screen time, which may impair brain development, sleep quality. Dr. Smita Patel recommends disconnecting an hour before bed to avoid cognitive fatigue. Recent advisories suggest strict limits for children as academic scores decline and projections indicate a 40% kids could have developed myopia in 2050. Wow, that's disturbing, actually. A lot of people watch television. Live now from Fox 3, Super El Nino forecasts update. Meteorologists are tracking a potentially record-breaking Super El Nino developing in the Pacific. NOAA predicts a below-average Atlantic hurricane season due to increased wind shear. Though experts warn the localized storm risks for winter, California faces high probability of intense atmospheric rivers and flooding, while the other northern U.S. expects warmer and other drier conditions. Yeah, it's displaying those real weird swirly things on the radar. We don't like those. Anyway, I love meteorology. It's something you can see on the proper, equipment. I've always shown an interest in meteorology. It's always been a fascination. I can kind of look at the map and be like, oh, okay, so this is going to rain here. I love it. On to some other news here. NBC News forces Garden Grove chemical emergency. Governor Gavin Newsom has declared the state of an emergency in Orange County as crews struggle to stabilize a 7,000-gallon chemical tank in Garden Grove. Roughly 50,000 residents have been evacuated from the area. Fire officials warn that the tank at GKN Aerospace facility is overheating and will likely leak into or explode, potentially releasing toxic methacrylate vapors. Wow. That is highly corrosive, highly explosive stuff, probably used in the creation of a solvent that may be used in treating metal. I have no idea. I'm not a metallurgist or a fuel expert, but that stuff sounds gnarly. Hearts and prayers go out to the folks who have evacuated from those areas. Hopefully the recovery teams will get that contained shortly. Let's go on to some other news here. Bloomberg Television, Dow hits record high. The Dow Jones Industrial Average reaches a record high on Friday as major indices close with significant weekly gains, according to the Reuters. Investigators' optimism rose following reports from Secretary of State Marco Rubio recording progress in Iran peace talks. Tech gains were led by Dell's 17% surge, while Kevin Warsh was sworn in as the new Federal Reserve Chair. Interesting stuff happens to the Walmart numbers when people are elected and not elected, and all kinds of different world activities going on. It really affects how we spend our money and the confidence that the average person has in the whole environment. It's surprisingly more positive than what I would expect in such a hostile environment we are in. So it's encouraging to hear those numbers. We'll see how it pans out. It might be just one of those little momentary spikes and then back down. We don't know. We'll just go with our gut on this. We got CBS News again. Stephen Colbert signs off on CBS. Stephen Colbert bid farewell to The Late Show on Thursday night, concluding the 33-year CBS franchise. Accompanied by guest Paul McCartney, the host signed off following what CBS calls the financial decision, though critics cite political pressure. Less than a day later, Colbert resurfaced on a Monroe, Michigan public access program alongside Jack White and Jeff Daniels. All right, congratulations, Steve Colbert. One thing comes to an end and another thing seems to lead in the direction you need to go. So on to bigger and better things to you, Stephen. Thank you for all your years of entertaining us on CBS. That concludes our weekly reading of the headline news. Don't forget to tune in next week for all the headline news. And if you feel someone will benefit from the channel, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to show your love. And as usual, we return you to your regularly scheduled programming. And now, back to the show.